أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد. So we were in the sixth ma'aqid, we were discussing the importance of being comprehensively educated, that it is important for a student of knowledge, that it is one of the principles of knowledge, to seek knowledge, that a student spends time in mastering as many sciences as he can, or she can, or they can, which are beneficial in terms of understanding the Quran and the Sunnah. So we talked about the importance of being comprehensively educated and studying from every science fair share, because that will help you in understanding the Quran and Sunnah better. طيب. So yesterday was all about the importance. The Shaykh is going to mention some key principles here with regards to that today. So he says, يقول حفظه الله وإنما تنفع رعاية فنون العلم باعتماد أصلين. And indeed, observing the disciplines of knowledge is beneficial by adhering to two principles. Either it suggests that the proper practice and mastery of various branches of knowledge are effective only when based on two foundational principles. Okay? So making sure that you look after these two principles, you respect them, and you follow these principles. أحدهما, the first one, or one of them, one of these two is تقديم الأهم فالمهم. We mentioned this yesterday. To prioritize the most important over that which is less so. Which is important, but it's not the most important. So you prioritize the most important thing first, and everything else comes after that. الأهم فالمهم. Right? You prioritize, you bring forth, you bring first, you place it first in terms of your study. Taqdeem, right? Bringing something forth. Prioritizing something. Al-aham, the most important thing. Fal-muhim, and then that which is after that, which is after that in the, or below that in the ranking. مما يفتقر إليه المتعلم في القيام بوظائف العبودية لله. From that which المتعلم إلانا يفتقر إليه, he needs it. He needs it, or is in need of, في القيام, to fulfill, to establish, بوظائف العبودية, the duties of servitude, لله, to Allah Azza wa Jal. So the first principle, if you want to tread this path of seeking knowledge, which is the true path, which is the actual path, which is what is missing nowadays. If you want to be comprehensively educated, you want to take your fair share from all sciences and then bring them together for the service of the Quran and Sunnah. If you want to do that, then you need to prioritize the most important over the lesser important. From the sciences that a learner is in need of to fulfill في القيام, to fulfill بوظائف العبودية, to fulfill the duties of servitude, of عبودية, the duties of servitude, عبودية لله, for Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, that's the first thing. You have to prioritize, otherwise you'd be studying something which has no benefit to your iman, to your taqwa, your taqarrub, your proximity to Allah Azza wa Jal, and you spend years on it, and those years, subhanallah, will be wasted, because you can die any second. If you die while you're studying something like logic or philosophy, things which are not even important, or less so for some traditions like the Egyptian or the Moroccan tradition, the Ash'ari tradition, for example. For them, if they were to teach you this for the first 5, 6, 10, whatever, however many years, then those years will be wasted in terms of your ibadah. You will have not fulfilled the duties of servitude, the things that were required of you as a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal, as an abd of Allah Azza wa Jal. And if you die in that time, well, you should, brace yourself for what comes after you, subhanallah, or what awaits you, subhanallah. So this is something to be scared about, in the sense that you should not be wasting your present. The present is what's going to determine your future. And if the present is corrupted, then the future is definitely going to be corrupted, because the present serves as a foundation for the future. So right now is what is you should be doing, what is the most important thing, which is studying that which is the most important thing for your iman, for your taqwa, for worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal, for being a true abd of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay, so everything that is needed on the first level, you do that. We leave everything till the end. Everything, like no one is going to, Allah's not going to question you in your grave if you come to Allah Azza wa Jal without having studied Quduri, or without having studied Zad al-Ma'ad, for example, or Khalil, Mukhtasar al-Khalil, right? It doesn't matter. Allah's not going to ask you for those things. He doesn't care if you're a mufti in that madhab or something, or if you have a madhab to begin with, right? He doesn't care. Allah wants you to be an abd for Him, right? He wants you to serve Him, to have taqwa, to engage in the Quran, the reading of the Quran, to understanding in the understanding of the Quran, learning the language of the Quran, so you may connect with this book, with this speech more, reading the Sunnah of His Messenger, and applying the Sunnah in your life, right, as much as you can. Tayyib, inshallah. Those are the things. Learning Aqidah, which is wajib upon you in terms of learning, in terms of your belief about Allah Azza wa Jal, and the creation, and the malaika, the angels, and X, Y, and Z, all the things that are the pillars of Iman. Right? These are the most important things. If you haven't studied those things, and you're studying the issues of ikhtilaf and issues of rational dialectical debates, and you're wasting your time, you're wasting your life, you're wasting subhanallah, the precious moments of your youth, subhanallah. And if you're not a youth, well then you should seek Allah's protection. You should seek refuge from Allah, or in Allah Azza wa Jal. والآخر, and the second principle is أن يكون قصده في أول طلبه تحصيل مختصر في كل فن. His initial intent, قصده في أول طلبه, in the initial affair, in the initial moments of his study, of his search in knowledge, طلبه, his search of knowledge, أن يكون, that should be قصده, his intent, في أول طلبه, in the beginning of his study, in the beginning of his journey in the search of knowledge, تحصيل, the acquisition of مختصر, a precise or concise treatise, a text, في كل فن, in every discipline. So the first thing that a student aims for, or intends to acquire as a starting point in this journey of ilm, he should intend and aim, or his aim should be the acquisition of a mukhtasar, a concise treatise in every single science that is going to help him understand the Quran and Sunnah later. So this is relevant for those who already know Arabic, obviously. For those who don't know Arabic, who don't know Tajweed, who don't know let's say they haven't memorized the important du'as of the morning and the evening, they haven't memorized the du'as of the prayer, perhaps they don't know how to, they don't pray witr, they don't pray they don't have ibadah in their life to begin with. Yes, if you're one of those people, and of course the students at this stage are those, right? We are all students in a stage where we're learning Arabic, we are memorizing enough Quran so that we may worship Allah Azza wa Jal with it, we may read it in our tahajjud and our prayers and X, Y, and Z, learning our du'as and adhkar, the importance of that, bringing that in, as a permanent practice in our lives, sticking to the adhkar, right? So and learning du'as, more du'as that we know from currently, and so these are the first steps, right? This is done before you even start the process of acquiring these mukhtasarat, the concise treatises in different sciences, right? Of course, the Shaykh assumes that you already know Arabic because you're reading this in Arabic, and perhaps you're listening a dars, or being given on this topic, from his book or any other book that covers the same topic. So, notwithstanding that assumption, we can say, for our purpose, that what is important for us at this stage is to build the right habits. For when we when we reach this stage, when we arrive at this, this point, we're actually ready. We are prepared to absorb the knowledge that is in there. So for that, we need to be strong in our Arabic language, right? So when I say strong in Arabic, at least, so of course, studying Nahu and Sarf and all these sciences is going to come under that, right? And that is done later. But before that, you should have a very strong grip of Arabic. You should be able to read and understand and write and speak as much, Arabic as you can comfortably to understand these mukhtasarat, right? So this is the sort of the, let's say, the precursor, right? The precursor to this. And the Shaykh, of course, assumes that you already are at that stage. But as far as what he's assuming and he's concerned with, he's correct. Once you are at a level where you can understand Arabic, read Arabic, speak and write Arabic confidently to an advanced or let's say native level, that's when you should start studying the mukhtasarat. Because otherwise, what ends up happening is the student, he struggles with two things. He struggles with the Arabic of a text, and then he struggles with the actual concept or the concepts that are being discussed in the text, right? So you don't want to. This is a recipe for disaster when you start teaching people mutun in Arabic when they don't really have any grounding in the Arabic language, right? And the whole purpose why we are studying this text in Arabic is not because we're studying this text as part of our let's say the mutun series. This is just as a series. We're just learning the lessons from this in English as a beginning stage, because we want to sort of adopt these things, these principles in our lives, right? We're not studying this book because we are, at that stage where we can learn what is inside this, right? So we're not at a stage where we can study this entirely in Arabic, right? So we're learning this. We were reading this text together as a starting point, because this text is filled with enough benefits, and you are learning Arabic, so inshallah you are understanding some things here and there, so it will help you improve your Arabic. But that is not the main point. The main point is just a benefit, the tazkiyah that is needed out of this, the main lessons that we need out of that. That's the whole point of why we are studying this text at this point. Otherwise, texts which are relevant to the sciences like Nahw and Sarf and Balagha and Usul and all of these different sciences, it's a mistake to teach students that when they're not confident in the Arabic language, because the student is not going to understand anything. He's not going to. He may understand things perhaps via some translation, but they haven't really. They will not acquire the true gist of the science. They will not be able to progress by themselves later. So it's important that a student, he is good, strong, confident with the Arabic language. He has memorized some portion of the Quran. He has memorized his du'as for the morning and the evening, and his salawat, and he's praying his witr, and he's praying his sunan, he's fasting Mondays and Thursdays. He's doing his basic due diligence, right, of being an abd of Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب. And he has these cornerstones in his life of the dhikr of Allah, of remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So worship Allah Azza wa Jal, reading the Quran, sticking to that schedule, avoiding the ma'asi and all of that, inshallah. And then inshallah, when that is achieved, we can jump into this stage. And this stage is there's no way without this. We have to study concise mutun in all the sciences, inshallah, because we want to educate ourselves in the comprehensive manner that is needed. حتى إذا استكمل أنواع العلوم النافعة نظر إلى ما وافق طبعه منها. He says he studies all of these mukhtasar mutun to the point that once he completes all the different types of ulum an-nafi'ah, the beneficial ulum, once he studies all of them, and to the point that he finishes all the different types of beneficial knowledge, beneficial sciences, and then نظر إلى ما وافق طبعه منها. Then he looks at what aligns with his nature, which subject is he most inclined towards naturally? Right? Some people, they are naturally inclined towards ibadah. Some are inclined towards sadaqah. Some are inclined towards academia. And when it comes to academia, they have different tabai', they have different natures. Some people, they spend their time, or they're inclined towards the study of hadith. Others are inclined towards the study of tafsir. Others towards the science, the study of fiqh and aqidah and lugha and X, Y, numerous amount of sciences that we have. طيب. So according to the Shaykh, he's saying that once he finishes that level, that he studied all the mukhtasarat, the precise or the concise texts from the beneficial ulum, sciences, he looks at what aligns with his nature. وَآنَسَ مِن نَفْسِهِ قُدْرَةً عَلَيْهِ وَآنَسَ, and he senses min nafsihi, from himself, qudra, an ability, alayhi, over it. Like he senses that not just that something aligns with his liking, that something takes his fancy, but also that he senses the ability. He senses an ability in that science, that he's been gifted with some sort of ability, like some sort of that forte for a particular science that he does not have for anything else. Of course, we have ulama who are, they have their nature aligns with everything, right? They want to learn everything, right? They're excited to learn about everything, right? And they feel like they can do anything. They feel like they have the ability to learn anything that they put their hands to or on, right? So regardless of however many things you feel you're able to conquer, the student, he looks at his ability, he looks at his alignment with his nature, and then he فَتَبَحَّرَ فِيهِ, then he just jumps into, he delves deeply into it. It's like he becomes an ocean in it. He reads and studies and questions and does tahrir of the masail, and all. He does all of those things after he has discovered that this is his subject, that this is the science that he is most inclined towards. طيب. سواء كان فنا واحدا أم أكثر. It is equal. This advice is equal, or it is the same, if it was one science that this person aligns towards, or he's aligned towards naturally, or he feels ability in, أم أكثر, or more than that, as I've already explained. طيب. Now, one thing before we move on, this is as far as the Shaykh is concerned, as far as his advice is concerned, and as far as academia is concerned. طيب. But when we're speaking about the knowledge of the Quran and Sunnah, there is much more to it than just the academic urge of a student, right? Say you have the Muslim, the Ummah, is going through a time where the Ummah needs fuqaha, the Ummah needs true Mujaddideen, the Ummah needs true, ulama who are true fuqaha, like they truly understand the deen. They are deeply rooted in the usul, and they have a mastery of the Arabic language, and using those usul they can guide the ummah in their problems of theology, in their aqidah, in their fiqh issues, in issues of politics and economics. They can lead the movement of the revival in different places, revive the iman in the people, in the communities, right? But if everyone acted according to this advice, طيب, you can realize what would happen. Let's say I am personally inclined to the study of Arabic language or usul, let's say, right? As an example. And I feel like I have an ability in it. طيب. The ummah requires an answer, requires guidance in a very severe issue. طيب. And no one is providing the ummah with that solution. طيب. Or there's very few people who are doing that, and there's a need for the ummah. Islam needs a certain type of scholarship at this time. طيب. And What I do is, no, you know what, the Shaykh said, well, I should just focus on that thing which aligns with my ability. I can use the subject that I naturally align with, that I'm naturally good at, to serve that cause, definitely, because all the sciences are essentially, at the end of the day, they're interconnected. When you study tafsir, you can't be ignorant in the lugha, you can't be ignorant in the hadith or fiqh. When you study hadith, you can't be ignorant with the Quran or the fiqh. When you study aqidah, you can't be ignorant of anything. Right? So everything is interconnected in the end, at the end of the day. So the person, instead of fulfilling the need of the ummah, which is fard kifaya, he says, no, what, I'm just going to stick to my subject. I'm just my specialization. I'm just I will not bother. Right? The ummah needs fuqaha, the ummah needs mujaddideen, and you're just happy, being a specialist in your science. Is that why we seek knowledge, to just be academics? We explained this in the beginning, that the purpose of seeking this knowledge is to revive Islam, right? Is to spread Islam, is to propagate Islam, right? It's and give spread tawheed, give da'wah, طيب. And if that is not happening, and the ummah is being battered, and Muslims are confused about their religion, طيب, and someone is so dumb that he focuses entirely, or all his energy is entirely on, let's say, Arabic grammar, or usul al-fiqh, a particular and he's truly focused on it in an academic manner, right? This person is going to be questioned on the Day of Judgment, right? Yes, you can't avoid becoming or pursuing something that you love, طيب. And inshallah, you find a way to use that for the service of Islam, right? Naturally, everyone is going to have that strength, طيب. But what is required when you study when you start this journey into specialization, for example, right? You should always ask yourself, what does the ummah need? For example, for me, as a personal example, I started off as a mathematician, right? I did my degree in mathematics, and I had very high ambitions of in pure mathematics. I was like, one day I'm gonna be the one to solve the Riemann hypothesis, طيب. And I'm going so many. I had ambitions, طيب. Now, when I decided to leave this path of university education and dedicate myself towards knowledge, the key question that allowed me to make that shift was, does the ummah really need mathematicians at this moment? Is that the greatest need of the ummah? If I stand before Allah Azza wa Jal and I am surrounded by the people of my century, my time, let's say, when I stand before Allah Azza wa Jal, am I going to be someone who is above everyone else, or just like everyone else? How will Allah Azza wa Jal view me on the Day of Judgment? Surely when the Anbiya are there, they will stand out. The Anbiya will stand out, right? The Shuhada will stand out. The Salihin, the Siddiqeen, they will stand out, right? They will be distinct from the people. طيب. This is a select class of people that Allah Azza wa Jal will distinguish on the Day of Judgment, right? So do I want to be with them, or do I want to be just a mathematician in the Muslim Ummah, inshallah, right? Of course, where does my ambition lie? How ambitious can I be, or am I, in terms of my akhirah, right? So asking myself, so does the Ummah really need mathematicians? Does it really need another doctor? I mean, there's many people who can possibly, do this, This is not the need of the Ummah. This is not the need of my religion, of my people, right? What does my people need? What does my Ummah need? My Ummah needs strong scholarship, brave scholarship, fearless scholarship, scholarship which is robust, which fears Allah Azza wa Jal, which stands for haqq no matter what. This is what is needed, right? And people have abilities, طيب. My abilities are not just with mathematics. Alhamdulillah, I have abilities which I share with people, but Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed me with things that I'm unique in, right? And I should use those unique abilities to serve the religion, because that is truly when Allah Azza wa Jal will make me distinguished amongst the distinguished people on the Day of Judgment, inshallah. So just to show you an example, this is how Muslims should think nowadays, right? If you're talib al-ilm, then your any muhimma, or your headache shouldn't just be about which science you should master. It's this, the study of Islam is not a study of academia. It's a study of taqwa. It's a path towards Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So we must always keep that in mind. We must always keep that in mind, right? There's no way that you're going to attain the Firdaus without this thought in mind. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us all the highest places in Jannah, Al-Firdaus Al-Ala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Right? And if you want to get there, the ambition, the aspirations must be high. Right? It shouldn't be just that, look, I'm given this ability, so I'm just going to, delve in this sort of science deeply and stay there. Right? The Ummah needs something. Inshallah, I'm going to try and fulfill the need of the Ummah. Right? Imam Bukhari, rahimahullah, he saw that, a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ should have been gathered. All the Sahih hadith should have been gathered, right? So he set on that path, realizing the need of the Ummah. This is why Imam Bukhari, right? There's some juhala, they said, Imam Bukhari wasn't a mujahid. How can he be greater than the Imam Bukhari? The jihad that he did, right, was for the need of the Ummah, right? So this is something that is, people must understand that when you are engaged in something that is the need of the Ummah, you are engaged in jihad, inshallah. And Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal either gives you shahada or He gives you nusrah. Either He gives you martyrdom or He gives you victory, inshallah, in this cause that you've embarked on, inshallah. طيب. Alhamdulillah. طيب. So فتبحر فيه سواء كان فنا واحدا أم أكثر. So the person, this is purely, this advice the Shaykh is giving is purely from the academic side of point of things, okay? If you want to, in terms of your education. So you start off with the study of all the precise texts in a science, in all the sciences, beneficial sciences. Once you've completed that, then you test or sort of realize for yourself, you self-inspect as to how, which subject is your nature aligned with, and in which subject you have a special ability, let's say. And then you delve into it deeply and you explore it. It could be one science, it could be many. And the person looks at his ability. In our context, if you think that the Ummah needs something, tayyib, when that thing obviously is going to be multifaceted, right? In that, definitely, inshallah, the thing that you're most gifted with in terms of your let's say, inclination, inshallah, you will use that. Definitely, that will definitely show itself in by itself. It will automatically shine. You will shine with your qualities, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. But the higher goal, the ambition should be not that you want to become, some great academic in this particular science, but rather you want to be an abd of Allah Azza wa Jal and a slave of Allah Azza wa Jal. You want to serve the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal with this knowledge. And that is, so you choose your specialization based on the need. And inshallah, as a way of supporting that need, inshallah, you will definitely bring in your qualities to that. Inshallah. As a point of side benefit, let's say, or as a point of disclaimer, we shouldn't discourage people from pursuing something that they're good at. That is something that we shouldn't discourage people from. And we're not saying that we should, and we're not discouraging by whatever I've said. I'm not discouraging anyone if they feel an inclination towards a science. All right, let's say the person, he's inclined towards the study of usul. طيب. And you say to him, look, the ummah needs du'at and ummah needs that. And the person, he's good with that, طيب, that science, and he leaves that because you've said that, the ummah needs X, Y, and Z. طيب. Now this person, he leaves that and he doesn't fulfill the other as well. And this could be the case, right? This could be the case with some people. It happens mostly, right? Because people are not really clear with, what to do. When they lose passion, right, it's very hard for them to continue, right? And without clear guidance, without clear mentor, it's very difficult with that path of, this is what the ummah needs, right? We do know what the ummah needs, inshallah. But inshallah, to fulfill that need, inshallah, we are going to work as a jama'ah. Just like the Prophet ﷺ used all of his sahaba. Every sahabi was not the same. every Sahabi came with his own unique qualities, right? They had already mastered themselves in particular qualities, right? Some of them were aghniya. They were mashallah give sadaqah, right? And they had perfected that excellence for giving charity. They were so generous, right? Their generosity is sort of shined through their character when they became Muslim. Others were brave warriors, others were businessmen, and their business skills came in handy when diplomacy was needed. Some of them were skilled politicians, right? Diplomats. Some of them were ubad. Some of them were students of knowledge, like Abu Hurairah, right? So the ummah comes together collectively. So we shouldn't discourage anyone from pursuing what they want to study, but they should always have this overarching higher ambition, right? So instead of just being an academic, they should always serve a need for the ummah, and serving that need, inshallah, they should work collectively, and each of them, everyone brings their, what would you call it? Everyone brings their own qualities forth to serve that cause, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. Right, so alhamdulillah, with this, the Shaykh, he moves on. He says, وَمِن طَيَّارِ شَعْرِ شَنَاقِطَ قَوْلُ أَحَدِهِمْ. From the most moving or dynamic, flowing poetry of the Shanaqita, the people of Mauritania, the ulama of Mauritania, is the statement of one of them, from one of the ulama. He says, وَإِن تُرِدْ تَحْصِيلَ فَنٍّ تَمِّمَهُ. If you want to, the acquisition, if you intend the acquisition of a science, تَمِّمْهُ, complete it, study it to its last letter, the last full stop, right? Complete the entire fan. Once you've started it, if you really want to attain it, then تَمِّمْهُ, complete it from the beginning to its last full stop, last letter. وَعَنْ سِوَاهُ قَبْلَ الْإِنْتِهَاءِ مَهْ. Mah means to turn away. And turn away from siwahu, other than it. Don't take on any other science, one thing at a time. قَبْلَ الْإِنْتِهَاءِ, before its ending. So before you've ended the study or the acquisition of one science, turn away from everything else. Okay? Turn away from everything else. Don't overburden yourself, and don't try and tread multiple paths at the same time. Why? What would happen? This is very funny, in fact. He says, وَفِي تَرَادُفِ الْعُلُومِ الْمَنْعُ جَاء. الْمَنْعُ, a prohibition. جاء has come. طيب. تَرَادُفِ الْعُلُومِ, taraduf is to sort of multitask, or to sort of co-study, right? To study together, right? So in the concurrence of sciences, sort of to sort of study multiple sciences at the same time. So taraduf al-ulum, so to study things multiple things at the same time. So multi-study, right? Or co-study of different sciences together. في ذلك, في ترادف العلوم, in that particular act of yours, that you want to combine different sciences, right? What have the ulama said? Al-man'u ja. They have prohibited it. The ulama have prohibited the study of multiple things at once. Right? Why? Well, he explains with an example. He says, إن توأمان استبقا لن يخرجا. In توأمان, if twins استبقا, they try to beat each other while they're inside their mother's womb and they're trying to get out. If the twins, they race each other and they try and beat each other to the exit out of their mother's womb into the world, لن يخرجا, they will never come out. طيب, they will never come out. Subhanallah. It's just a an imagery just to explain just to drive the point home. طيب. The ulama, they have prohibited, they've discouraged the study of multiple things at the same time. Why? Because if two twins, they try to race to the exit from a mother's womb, they will never come out. It always has to be one by one. طيب. In any case, the Shaykh mentions this as a point of humor, and of course he stresses his point again, but he says himself at the end, وَمَنْ عَرَفَ مِنْ نَفْسِهِ قُدْرَةً عَلَى الْجَمْعِ جَمَعَ. And whoever knows from himself the ability to combine, جَمَعَ, he combines between the sciences. وَكَانَتْ حَالُهُ إِسْتِثْنَاءً. His affair or his state would be an exception من العموم, from the general rule. Alhamdulillah. طيب. So this was the sixth market. We want to, inshallah, become comprehensively educated ulama, because that is the need of the ummah for the higher purpose, inshallah. But for that, the Shaykh has said that you have to stick to two principles. The first thing was that you have to prioritize the most important thing, and then the lesser important. And then you have to study the mukhtasar, the concise treatises, the texts in every science, inshallah. And then once you've studied every science to, let's say to a mukhtasar level, you're good with with the foundations in that. Then you choose a science after that, inshallah, which you can then delve deeply and explore. طيب. And we've said that, inshallah, we want to choose the subject based on the need of the ummah, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And then in terms of combining many sciences at the same time, like the universities do or the schools do, students studying 8 to 10 subjects a year together, divided over a week, is not a very good thing to do for the student. They never develop any mastery, any expertise in anything. Rather, they develop faulty concepts, weak concepts, weak understanding of things, and it's like 16, 18 years of education is wasted. If rather than that year, all that time was spent on the mastery of a few subjects and one at a time, the student would have come out an imam. He will come out as an expert in many things, in at least 3 to 4 sciences by that point, inshallah. So this is the sixth principle, very important, inshallah, that we want to study all the mukhtasarat, inshallah, and we want to study things one at a time. And then after that, inshallah, everyone, depending on the natural inclination and with a higher aim, they will choose a field for themselves, inshallah. And of course, they will not be ignorant in anything in the other sciences. They will not be ignorant. They will definitely have a good level of knowledge in everything else as well, and then they will have a special ability in some sciences. But the crux of it is that you use the knowledge, the path that you choose for yourself. It should serve the ummah. It should serve the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. It should serve Allah Azza wa Jal. And with this, we end this marqid, alhamdulillah. This was the last lesson for this week, inshallah, and we'll continue with this text next week. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.